Talk Radio.
Hello, and welcome to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week, we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. Welcome to the April 30th, 2019 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I am an astrologer in Orlando, Florida. And what does it say about me that I really like that opening? I like the music. I really enjoy listening to that. So anyway, there you go. So today is April 30th. It is 80 degrees here in Orlando. It's going to be 88 today. It looks pretty sunny, so I'm excited about that. I want to wish my friend Nisa Fanu congratulations and happy retirement. She retires today. She owns a Thai restaurant here in Orlando, and she is going off to do bigger and better things and enjoy a retirement. So she's well earned it. And let's see. Oh, yeah. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about readings, too, before we get going. So I do private readings, and I can do short readings or long readings. They're different prices, so there's kind of a shift of price point for anybody who's interested. But when you get a reading from me, you'll go on the website, which is old website. New website is angeliczodiac.com, and my readings are there. Just go to schedule a reading or the readings page. I have 2 or 3 ways of getting there, and then you would click the link. You pay, and then it sends you to an appointment calendar. You choose your appointment. I get a notification that you've scheduled a reading, and I will send you a confirmation and the information about doing the reading. You will call me at my phone number that I have set aside just for readings, and then we'll go over your information. We'll make sure your chart's accurate, and I will take the time and go over the whole chart all the way around. That's for a full reading. I will go over all the interactions of the planets currently so that you know what's going on, and usually I'll tell you about the upcoming energies and how it'll affect you. So by the time you're done with the reading, you have a pretty good knowledge of what's going on. You can take notes. I suggest you write it down, and then I will record it at the same time, and so that within 24 hours I will send you the files, and you'll get to listen to it as many times as you want. So it's a pretty thorough reading. I usually get pretty good feedback from my clients, and I have many repeat clients. So anyway, I just want to give you an idea of what is involved with that, because I guess I never really talk about that, but it's actually something I really, really, really love to do. I love going over people's charts. I love helping them understand what's coming up and giving them vital information for them to help make decisions on their own lives. And that would also be for you if you would like to do it. So just go to angeliczodiac.com and you can do that. Also, since I've changed the format of the show to a little bit shorter format, I'm going to tell you up front where you can get information about the things I do. And I also am an artist. You can check out my portfolio and the things I do at shelleyoverton.com. And for those of you who are not real familiar with how you spell my name, it's Shelley Overton, Overton. And you can get me at that.com. And then I also have a blog that I do on dottedsky.com, which is kind of like just a fun little site that I put together that also showcases what I do around the house, where I live. I live on a farm. I've had many vlogs about that, blogs and vlogs. And if you want to check out my YouTube channel, you can get it over at Artful Shelley, which is, if you type that in on YouTube, you'll get my stuff. And probably also Angelic Zodiac. If you type that in, you'll get it. It's the same page, but I split it into playlists for you. So we're going to go over some of the planets, and then we're going to talk about Saturn retrograde. So I'll probably just save that for the end of my information about what's going on in the sky currently. And let's see, Monday was yesterday, and yesterday we had a Saturn retrograde. And since we talked about Pluto last week, because Pluto retrograded last week, and that was on Wednesday the 24th. Yesterday, at 8:54 p.m. Eastern, 5:54 Pacific, Saturn went retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So we'll talk about that at the very end of what's going on in the sky, because, of course, it segues better that way. Anyway, currently in Orlando, we have a Cancer rising at 13 degrees. There are no planets in Cancer right now, so that's interesting. We're just kind of taking it easy in the Cancer realm, which is home and family. The North Node is in Cancer, and that is just a point in the sky associated with the moon, and it is considered the nodes of fate. So it is a fated point of shift and change, and what's profound about it is the South Node is at 20 degrees Capricorn, which is also conjunct Saturn right now. And I'm going to save that too. I'm going to keep you on the edge of your seat. But we'll talk about that in a minute. We have Mars at 19 degrees Gemini, opposite a 23-degree Jupiter retrograde. So Mars is how we take action, and Jupiter is where we find our spiritual side, where we seek out new and interesting information about other people and other cultures. It's where we grow and expand in a broader sense, such as higher education. It is connected to education. So, of course, we are wrapping up the year right now as Jupiter is retrograding. So we're having the whole summer to go back over some ideas that we've had about what we want to do with our education, where we want to go with it, how we're going to pursue it. Mars in Gemini. Gemini rules elementary education. And I don't think I told you this because it happened right after the show last week, but it's pretty interesting and exciting stuff. My daughter has Jupiter and Gemini in her house of career, and it's like at 5 degrees, and Mars has been right around 15 last week, just at the end of her house of career. And I looked at that, and I'm like, Mars on her Jupiter and her Saturn in late degree Taurus. Something's going to happen with her career. I don't know what, but her career specifically is being triggered, and she just got certified as a preschool teacher in her high school education. And I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? And during my show last week at 11:15, she got a job offer, a letter mailed to her that she had pursued for the same town as her college is in, and they offered her a job. And then later in the same day, she found out that locally over the summer there was a place that was offering jobs for anyone who would get in there fairly quickly, and she went that afternoon and got a job also locally for the summer. So she got 2 job offers in one day, and that's what Gemini Mars does. It's twins. So that's how it manifested. I was very excited. She was so excited about it, but she couldn't tell me till after the podcast was over. So that's some good news that definitely we wanted and needed. So Mars and Gemini, elementary education, more preschool education, kindergarten, all of that. And Mars is action, activity, it's duality. So it is taking energy and putting it into the things that are interesting in education, in communications, in broadcasting. It does rule siblings. It rules neighbors, neighborhoods. So all of these are affected in our world right now. We're drawing in kind of themes around that energy. Opposite Jupiter means there is something that will alter the situation and has to be refined, and we're finding out information we may have not known, or we're going back over information that we may have glossed over the first time Jupiter went through Sagittarius. And it is also the energy of bringing out remember, I don't know if I said it. I don't think I said it on the podcast, but I think I told it to a client yesterday. Jupiter going through a sign is very closely linked to Scorpio. So Scorpio will go through the energy and dig up the dirt, and it likes to kind of roll around in the dark underbelly of things and find out truths. Jupiter brings it out into the light and says, hey, look at this. There it is. Bam. And it slaps it on the table and points to it. So when Jupiter goes through Sagittarius direct, you're seeing what Scorpio has kind of dug up and found out about. And when it retrogrades, we go back over that information and we try and understand it better. It is more of a Saturnian energy. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it gets more meticulous about things as opposed to being very freewheeling in the direct motion. And then opposite Mars means that they're somewhat battling it out for control over the information, so to speak. And that is probably very much going on in politics. It's going on in the storyline around immigrants and what we're doing with people of other cultures, with countries of other cultures. That's kind of redundant. But you understand what I'm saying. So, like, I know other countries right now are going through a lot of upheaval. Just noticed it's 11:11 here, so I'm going to just give it all to you and make a wish. And I know some people are like, oh, make a wish, what's all about? Well, 11:11 is an angel number, and so when 11:11 is noticed, the angels are more apt to be right there with you and listening to your requests. So I don't know. I do it. What's the harm? So anyway, as far as foreign countries, like India's in the news, Japan was in the news, I think it's Akihito, excuse me. Akihito was the emperor of Japan until yesterday, and he abdicated, which is the first time that's happened in 200 years. So that's pretty significant on a Jupiter retrograde opposite Mars. And his son will be taking over. There are extreme floods in Canada. We've got human rights issues with the UN, with Trump, and what he's doing about that. I didn't want to get into it. Here there's Venice is managing Europe's worst tourism crisis. There's a lot of foreign energy in the news. Venezuela opposition leader claims coup underway. So there's a coup in Venezuela. That's directly being affected by this Mars opposite Jupiter. That's the energy. Mars is aggression, assertiveness. Opposite Jupiter clashes with the power to be free. Honestly. Okay, we've got a sextile of Mars to Venus and Mercury today. Mercury exact. Mercury's at 19 Aries, so it's communication and action. So again, they are in mutual receptivity, mutual reception. So Mercury is in Mars's sign, Mars is in Mercury's sign, at least one of them, Gemini. And so they're really in cooperation with how they're communicating and how they are going forward with what they say. They're basically in each other's energy fields and doubling the energy around communications and taking action. We have Sun and Uranus in Taurus right now. They're only 7 degrees apart, so even though it's a separating aspect of conjunction, they are still right there next to each other. And the Sun-Uranus conjunct can be, in my opinion, a very enlightening energy, and it sheds light that was already being kind of shed by Uranus. Uranus is a very electrical energy. You turn on lights with Uranian energy. You brighten up the sky with fireworks. You have amazing blowouts of electrical equipment. It is a very intense electrical energy that powers things. So it will bring into our awareness what's going on. Sun is an enlightening energy in and of itself, and it shines light on Taurus. And Taurus is growing things, growing money, growing your desires, growing relationships and couples and things in the garden and green things and investments. So all of those are very much being triggered right now, and know that your diet may change right now. You may not be able to eat the same things you normally eat. You are potentially, I know plants are really big in society right now. Like we're really having a lot of attraction to growing houseplants again. I see it all over YouTube right now, all over social media. I watched this home and decorating Instagram feed, and she's gone crazy over plants in the last month. This is like all of a sudden it's a plant channel. So it's pretty big right now. We have Venus at 12 Aries. So again, she's also very assertive, and I know that Kamala Harris, there was another lady who potentially is announcing her presidential run or a Senate run today, and I can't remember her name. It started with an S. Anyway, strong energy for women and communication around women's issues, but more assertive way of expressing it, squaring Pluto, so at odds with authority, at odds with the patriarchy. And then Neptune, Moon are conjunct today. The Moon is 2 degrees past Neptune in Pisces, so very sensitive to feminine issues again, but emotionalism comes out, and it's at odds with Jupiter and Sagittarius. Jupiter and Sagittarius and Sagittarians are probably having a more difficult time right now because of the opposition to Mars, because of the square to the Moon-Neptune conjunction. And it also is the flooding that I just read about. What did I say? Texas? No, Venice. No, I think it was, I don't remember where I read it. It was flooding. Anyway, Canada, extreme flooding. So, yeah, that's the energy of Moon Neptune, and also sensitivity with how we are feeling things and psychic awareness, picking up a lot of information through our dreams, at odds with Mars in Gemini. So Mars wants to take the ideas and express them out and move forward, and Neptune Moon wants to stay at home and nurture. So, okay, now we are at Saturn. So Saturn, Pluto, and South Node. We have Saturn at 20, 31 minutes, South Node at 20 and 32 minutes. So they are 1 minute of time away from each other, which is basically the same exact point in the sky. And Saturn rules karma. It rules the karmic taskmaster of the zodiac. And so wherever you have karma in a practical, pragmatic sense, you will see it right now. South Node brings up the past, brings up past lives, and is a point of fate right now between Pluto at 23 and Saturn at 20. Saturn going direct will create the structure. There is so much construction going on in Orlando right now, it's crazy. And probably all over the country and potentially all over the world. That is the energy of Capricorn. We are in a very strong Capricornian energy. It is about power, structures, systems, organization of ideas, and manifestation in a material world. It is your physical structure with the skeleton, and it is how you support everything that you want around you in a material way. So it can cool things down, and having Saturn retrograde within a week of Pluto retrograding, it is a very intense, powerful energy around understanding your ideology, understanding your value, and what's going on with the construction of the system and the physical structure. I've got 2 houses being built in my neighborhood right now. One just got the wallboard up this past week, and also stucco and a paint job. So it's making that structure happen. It's been sitting there for a year, and a lot of work has not been done for many, many months. And now all of a sudden, boom, right as we're about to change direction, triggered it. So it probably was started last year under the Mercury or under the Saturn retrograde, and the action goes forward with it under the retrograde, and that can happen. So when you have a retrograde in your chart, or something is initiated under a retrograde motion, whenever that planet retrogrades, that's when you're more active. So having Saturn retrograde is going back over the physical structure, trying to understand the dynamic of the patriarchy, of the boss, of your career, which is very definitely affected by this retrograde. It is refining things. Keep in mind that there's a sextile between Saturn and Neptune right now. The moon is exact in sextile right now at 20 degrees and 14 minutes. So it is exact sextile today, which is a cooperative aspect. So water, believe it or not, if there are water issues or water damage with structures, it's there for the positive. So it can come in and bring awareness in that structure, and it will help make it a stronger structure. So Saturn going backwards, sextile to Neptune moon, is probably going to bring out those issues so that you're aware of it. That is cooperative energy. So it was probably already there, but now it's coming out. Saturn retrograde is going back over what we've done and shoring it up, making sure it is a stable structure. So having Saturn and Pluto retrograde within 1 week will mean that the Earth energy, volcanoes and volcanoes and earthquakes are ruled by Pluto. They will be active because there is an energy of intensifying with that shift. And it could also be a receding energy on some level, that we're pulling back. We're not as inclined to do things right now. There's a rest period, and because of the sextile to Neptune, we may feel particularly tired and not inclined to want to do things in our career. So it's a really powerful energy. It's powerful energy around authority figures. Again, Saturn went retrograde yesterday. Akihito receded. He abdicated. So it was a potent energy in a sense of international figures. So that Saturn is retrograde through September. I believe it's around the 15th or 17th of September. I'll look it up here just to make sure. It is the 18th of September. And Pluto stays retrograde, I believe, through November. Let's just double check that as long as we're looking here. Could be, let's see, 13. Oh, look at, what do you know? It actually goes direct sooner. Yeah, it goes direct on the 3rd of October. So I know it doesn't seem soon, but because it is still like 5 months away. But last year it went direct in November, so we've got a little less this year. And, well, not, it's probably still the same amount of time. It just is shifting over time every year. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. Wherever Capricorn falls in your chart, you are refining your vision for your career. You are going back over the things that you have initiated in the last 5 to 6 months, and it will be a review for you of what you want to do. And chances are there will be a little bit of fear associated with it because it is Capricorn, and Capricorn is fearful of change, and a shift is definitely change. So there could be like, what's going to happen? Oh my gosh, I don't see the vision. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know how it's going to happen. Oh my goodness, what's going on? So anyway, that's the week in astrology. We're going to have the moon going through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini by the end of the week. So today it is very restful. It is wanting to turn inward and introspective, but by the end of today, I'm pretty sure, let me just double check that. Today is Tuesday the 30th, so the moon, it's tomorrow. Moon goes in at 6:24 a.m. to Aries, 3:24 Pacific. And so tomorrow's going to be a really strong day of get it done activity. We're going to have the moon going over Venus and the moon going over Mercury for the next 2 days, and then the moon's going to go over Uranus and the sun. So it's going to be initiating energy tomorrow and then delving into the physicality of what you initiate and to the material world. Let's see, probably Thursday night, or let's see, I'll just look it up too as long as we're talking about it. And I will take a call before we're over, so don't worry. So the moon goes into Taurus on Friday at 4:18 p.m. And so the weekend, the moon enters on Sunday at 11:40 p.m. So pretty much it's going to be really an Aries-Taurus week. And then that's going to be all about initiating and money and love. So new things, new energy infused, and connection to the home around starting something or selling something. And then also money associated with the home or the value of something in your world, wherever your Taurus is in your chart. So let's take our call. I think this might be Linda. Is this Linda?
Yes, it is. Good morning.
Hi, how are you today, Linda?
I'm okay. I appreciate the affirmation that today is a day for turning inwards, and that the rest of the week with the Aries sounds hopeful.
Yeah. I mean, I personally like the energy with the moon initiating, and especially moon in Taurus. It means business picking up and money coming in. So,
yeah. So where does
all
this land in my chart? I'm particularly curious about the Pluto retrograde and the Saturn retrograde, because like last Wednesday when it went retrograde, oh my goodness, such heavy sadness all over on Wednesday. So difficult. It's like what's happening? And
yeah,
this must
I agree.
Pluto going
it's
retrograde.
in your 12th house. Yeah, 12th house is where Saturn Pluto fall for you, and it's right on Chiron, your Saturn. The 12th is the subconscious. It's the Pisces house. It's the one that's connected to spirit, and the one, that tries to bring energy from the past. And because you have two material planets, or two planets in the material sign in your 12th house, you're probably going to have people come back from the past, and people who are associated with life purpose. That's Saturn also, and so you're going to have something really tangible probably come in that is an emotional connection, and it is the thread of present to the past, the vintage energy, someone coming back in. And then also your second house, which is the Taurus house by nature, you have Pisces and Aries in that house, and I'm looking at your chart. You've got Neptune at the beginning, followed by the moon, followed by Chiron, then Venus, Vesta, and Mercury, all in your first house. And the Chiron, Venus, Vesta, Mercury are in Aries. So you're really getting triggered there for your Aries energy. And then the moon will be going over those planets, so it's about femininity and expressing your kind of agitation. When the moon hits Venus and Aries, both feminine energies are expressing through the masculine voice, and so that means you're going to be more assertive around money, around growth, around the things that you see that you want to start around your financial well-being. And right now for you, the moon Neptune conjunction at the beginning of your house of money is about finding the vision. What is it that you want to let go of, in a sense, because the moon is transiting out of the Pisces energy. It is an ending energy of an old story, and then it goes into an initiating energy of Aries right after it, and then it hits Venus, which rules the house of money. It initially hits Chiron. So there is the wounding from a male energy around the home that you will probably hit later tonight or tomorrow. And then you're going to feel kind of like, that's not cool, I don't like that, and you'll have some agitation going on. And then there is a Vesta energy, which can be you, or it can be someone else who's expressing the documentation of something, and it could be related to taxes, or it could be related to some kind of financial paperwork that you have to get done. Venus is at Vesta right now. They're at the same degree. So women are acting as the keeper of the information, the keeper of the papers. That is what the Vestal Virgins did. They controlled the paperwork for the city and the documentation of what was going on in ancient Rome. So that information comes out, and women are seeking the documents, which probably is going to be a strong bringing out, like the subpoena energy of the Congress right now, and putting out more subpoenas, because that's documentation and seeking out the documents. So that's truly a literal translation of that energy. But for you, it's in money. It could be paperwork with banks. It could be paperwork doing investments, or again, anything that has to do with initiating something or selling something. And then Mercury, the moon will go over Mercury, and so that will be the communications of what you need in your environment to make you more comfortable, what your desires are around money and love and femininity. And then the moon going over into your third house is going to communicate that even more so. So it really is a lot of communication around desires involving your financial well-being, or even growth of something you want to grow. Could be even the greenery around you, yard work, housework, plants, etc. And it is health associated with diet, anything that you learn about diet and what kind of food you eat and intake. Okay? Do you have any questions about that?
Oh, that's a lot. I have to listen
It
to
is
it
a
all
lot.
again. It sounds very,
I
very,
know.
very power packed. It feels very power packed.
It is.
As
It's
I listen
mostly
to it
because
too.
all the Aries and the Aries in the second is all money. All of your Pisces Aries planets are in your second house of money, and then you go to the third house of communications, and you've got the Taurus, which is also money, but you've got
Wow.
Mercury in your second, and the third house is ruled by Mercury. So it's a lot of Mercury Venus energy for you, and so it is talking money and growth. That's what it's about. Okay, and education.
Talking money and
Too.
growth.
Mercury is
All
also
right, I
education.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah,
I needed
learning
that
about the
summation.
planet. All right. Yeah, synopsis. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you for the call this week, and we'll
Talking
talk to
money
you
and
again
growth.
soon. That's the
Okay,
end of the
thank
show.
you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye. Okay, and that's the show for this week. I know it goes really quickly in half an hour, and I still want to think a little bit more about the Zoom thing. And I want to thank, I guess I forgot to mention, I had a listener tell me that they could give me a walkthrough of Zoom, and I appreciate that. I didn't get back to you in time. It was for like 2 days ago, I think. But I actually have a meeting with the ZodiLove dating app that I am associated with on Zoom, so I'm somewhat familiar with the platform. I guess I'm just a little shy to do it for the first time, but I will do that. I'm thinking of this week, and I know I keep saying I'm going to keep doing it, but this month, May, coming up, is absolutely going to be the month to initiate these things. And this week, especially with all the energy, Aries in Mercury in Aries, we'll probably get it done this week. But keep listening to this podcast. I will be there next week, and I will let you know more details. And I will also let you know on the Facebook page for AstroEnergy and Angelic Zodiac. So keep an eye out there. Go like those pages. Let me see, what else was I going to add? There was something else I wanted to add, and I don't know what it was. So I guess that's all for this week. I will talk to you again soon. I'm on Instagram as well, Angelic Zodiac 1, if you want to go over there. Follow me there. And, the Sanctuary on Facebook. Go to the Sanctuary for Body, Mind, and Spirit. That is also associated with me. I am getting together with my friend Mary Ellen over there, and we're looking to put out actual live seminar here in Orlando. So go follow that as well if you can. And thank you for following me. Thank you for listening. And we will talk to you next week. Bye. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.